Judd, where do we start? Putting the snooker cue down and you're picking up the pool cue next week. Can you start off by telling us how that idea came about?
Yeah, I felt I've been playing snooker for a long time, and pool is something that I've always wanted to do really, but never really had the opportunity or the space in between tournaments. And I've kind of got a month off and not doing anything else. And I've spoken to a couple of people behind the scenes that have been persuading me to try and have a go at it. And it always looks fun, and it's something as a snooker player that you always think is going to be quite easy, but I've had a couple of little practices and it's a little bit more harder than it looks. So I'm not really expecting much, but it's just for me, just go and try some new things. In the future, who knows, if pool picks up even more and we get time off, then hopefully combine the both of them. But for now, just go there, have a bit of fun, and see what happens.
Have you ever played pool before, and if so, have you ever played competitively?
I think I started playing pool when I was a kid, just English pool, and then my old snooker club used to have a couple of pool tables when I was probably like 14, 15, and I used to just have a sort of mess around with my brother or one of my friends there, but never to any kind of level I took it serious. So it's all like a complete new challenge for me. I'm not expecting much at all. I'd just be happy to win one rack, I think. A lot of my friends are sort of snooker fans and would always come and sort of watch me play. But I think just in general, people will find pool a lot easier to follow, I think. Snooker can be quite complicated unless you've been playing it your whole life. There seems to be sort of a lot more rules. Whereas pool, I think, for the average person, it's a lot more simpler. You can go down and sort of, it's a lot more enjoyable to play, I think, because anyone can kind of play pool for a couple of days or just down with your friends and clear up the table. Whereas snooker is sort of very difficult unless you've been playing for 10, 15 years every day. It's hard work. So I think people can just sort of sympathise with what you're doing, and it just looks more fun, and hopefully for me I can just play with a smile on my face, like I'm enjoying myself, and just hopefully bring some new followers to pool from snooker and vice versa. I think the US Open pool is got the most sort of heritage and most prestige to it, and it's been around a long time, and everyone in sort of the world of pool knows is the tournament that if you are going to win one, you want to win this one. So for me, I think that's kind of what attracted me, and just to go in at the deep end, going in the biggest event and see what I can do. I think when I get over there and step out, obviously I don't want to make a fool of myself. That will add pressure, but in kind of the snooker world, I know what I'm capable of, and I know when I put the work in, I've got that belief. Whereas with pool, I don't really know what's going to happen. So I'd imagine I'll be a lot more nervous playing pool, walking out. Am I going to be all right? Am I going to be terrible? Anything can happen. So over the next week or so before I actually play, I'll have to learn the rules properly and get sort of up to scratch with what's going on, and hopefully I can have a good run in it. I'm not really friends with any of the pool lot, but I think for me, I'll try and find someone that wants to help me, give me a bit of advice, and speak to some of the referees that do the snooker. I know Brendan Moore is over there reffing the pool. Hopefully he can help out a little bit with the rules, and yeah, I probably just need a little bit of coaching with one of the top players just to get me up to scratch. For me, I always like to be totally prepared and have the belief that I can do well in the tournament. So I'll probably just go away, try and get at least a couple of days practice and see where I am at from that. And then when I get over there, get a chance to play on the proper conditions and get a sort of feel for things, how I'm doing, what I need to work on, and try and practice as much as possible up until when I play. For me, it's always been sort of a dream of mine to sort of try and take snooker over there into the US, and it's such a big market. It's sort of an aspiration of mine, but it's nice to be playing any cue sport, to be honest, just to get out there and just be a part of the atmosphere, part of the US Open. If it's for pool, hopefully I can do well. And one day they'll have me back and playing it again. The dream would be to have a good run, but I think it's all just practice, and hopefully in the future I think pool will take off and hopefully be more tournaments in the UK and give other snooker players a chance to sort of compete. Yeah, for me, there's the potential to play in front of a whole new fan base. There's a lot of people that watch snooker that don't watch pool, and vice versa. So I think for me, it's just trying to find that middle ground and getting different people interested in different things, and just opening your eyes up to what's going on. And for me, it's just about sort of building my fan base. I probably don't have a lot of following in the US, so it's a chance for me to sort of get on their radar, and hopefully I can put a good showing of myself in, and hopefully nobody hates me after the tournament, and I can sort of bring them back across the snooker, and hopefully in the future combine the both and make them both as big as possible. Yeah, I'm excited for the US pool fans to obviously get a glimpse of me playing, and I think I'll bring a lot more sort of freedom, energy to the game, kind of because it's not sort of the be and end all for me at the moment. My whole life's not dependent on it. I'll be able to sort of be one of the players that can play with a smile on my face, a lot more freedom and enjoyment, and hopefully they'll take to that and see that I'm having fun with what I'm doing, and I try to get that across in everything I do. And I think people kind of respect that, and then hopefully get as many people playing pool as possible. Yeah, at the US Open, I've not come to take part. I've come to try and win the event. I've come to give it my absolute all, and just to see what I can do in myself, because it is something that I've always felt like I wanted to do, and see actually how good I can be at pool. But I'm not under the illusion that I'm going to go there and just blow everyone away. I know that sort of the breaking off, the tactical side, doubling or banking as they like to call it in America, is going to be tricky for me. So I know there's a lot of things that can go wrong, but hopefully if I can just enjoy myself, pot all the balls on the table, then I won't have to get into that kind of problem. I think for me, I think that the first game will be important. Then I can kind of gauge, just even practicing on the actual tables with my own cue. I've not really had the chance to do that yet. So just getting out there, seeing what everything's about, seeing the energy, and just see how the different top pool players kind of approach the tournament and their mentality. I think everything's going to help. And for me, I think just try and win one game, I think, at the moment, and then I can kind of take it from there. I'll be happy just to get settled in that first game, win a couple of racks early on, get that break off sorted, and then take it from there. I think seeing some of the great snooker players transition into pool before, and I can remember watching a few of them. It was a long time ago now, but I think they didn't make a fool of themselves or anything. I thought they were very good. It's just sort of having that technical awareness. The break off is the biggest thing, I think. Just about transitioning the power into the right areas, and I think as any snooker player, I think it's going to be something that we always struggle with unless we're playing full time. But I mean, just seeing those guys have a go at it, for me, just having this opportunity for me is massive, and I'm super excited to get going.
And getting a bit hypothetical now, but if you were to go deep in the tournament and enjoy yourself in the process, do you think this is something you could see dabbling in again in the future?
I think so. It's certainly early days in my pool career, but I think just having the opportunity, for me, I've always loved travelling to America, going around the world, just reaching new territories, and being able to go to the places that I may never get the chance to with snooker. For me, is just sort of a real sort of privilege for me, just to go in and play Q Sports, and just try and expand Q Sport to as many new places as possible. And for me, it's only beneficial to everyone really involved in snooker and pool, for if I go there and just give it my absolute all, not make a fool of myself, and just give it everything I've got. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why other snooker players can't get more involved with pool. I think at the moment there's just not the free time for people to be practicing to the top of their absolute all in both sports. But for me, just having this month off in snooker has given me the opportunity to try something new, and I'm sure in the future, if there could kind of be a compromise where some of the top pool events don't clash with snooker, and likewise, then there's no reason why a lot of the snooker players can't go there, try and earn a bit of extra money and have fun while they're doing it. I certainly hope they appreciate what I do, and just kind of the level of enthusiasm that I'll try and show. And it's always been sort of a passion of mine to show that I'm having fun with what I'm doing, and show that you're actually out there enjoying it, even though there's a lot of points, money at stake all the time. It's important for me to, as a watcher of snooker as well, that the person I'm watching is enjoying themselves. They're not putting them through hell to try and get that result. You've got to look like you're having fun. And in the past, when I watch snooker, I've always felt that you don't see the enjoyment coming out in their face. And for me, over the last couple of years especially, I always like to play with a smile on my face, and the person at home wants to go out and pick up their cue the very next day, and try it, just make it look as easy as possible. And for me, that's what it's all about. Yeah, I think Matchroom, Paul Matchroom Snooker have done an amazing job over the past sort of 4 or 5 years from what I've seen, getting involved, and everything that they're doing kind of appeals to me, and kind of my age is sort of a lot more modern, and everything just to me looks a little bit more fun, and kind of that's probably the reason why I've got involved. It looks like it's fun. A couple of tournaments recently on Sky that I've watched, just the different setups in the venues and everything's just being a lot more modernised, and it's sort of refreshing to see people come in with a different view and try and adapt to the 21st century and what's going on in real life.
That's great, thanks Judd.
Thank you.